yeah, I guess that's what we're going with now.
That's why we have ready rooms. I'm just waiting. I mean, with the way Taco Storm's been playing already, he's either got this like a big set of pants ready, or he's gonna drop this one, and I'm gonna have to fill in from the ready room. I mean, I'd hate to have to get dragged into this and have to educate people in the finer points of my skills this early in the tournament. And catch while playing. I'd hate for that to happen, but if it has to happen,
Me and Coach rip off the jersey, runs in.
Have no choice.
Throw the headset on.
We are back to picks and bans. Will we have the exact same teams? Probably.
Yeah, we're probably gonna have the same exact teams. I have a feeling that Piltover, the City of Progress and their advanced technology found out a way to DDoS summoners, and so that's probably what happened there.
I'm just gonna say, like, Piltover seems to be standing united as a front, as a unified people in this little event. Well, we've already have one Ionian coward thrown that out there. Coward, tail, and run away from the fight. As far as I'm concerned, this mirror water is ours. This magic shiny water, as it was explained to me so delicately in some shorthand textuals, it's definitely us.
Yeah, and actually Piltover, I believe, is currently in the advantage spot, is in first place.
What? Where are these rankings at? I just started this today.
In the shadows.
Do not bring the shadows into this.
Hey, but Shen likes the shadows.
If things start getting hecagrim, I'm gonna freaking panic attack. What? Piltover's at the bottom? Freljord is number... Oh, God, you better be hooking me up with this link right here. We're about to change everybody's minds. This is craziness. Nah, this fight just got real. Look at this. Look at these. Is there any way we can put up this sweet map so that people can see this?
Which map are we talking about? Oh, this map.
Link to us in the chat. Over here, we're looking at all these standings. Minus 23? This math cannot be correct. We invented math.
I see a link to a giant chart.
Yeah.
How do you get minus points?
You know what? I don't even know what's going on right now. All I know is that I'm about to go melting some ice trolls. I'm gonna punch an ice queen in the mouth and rip off Trindamir's right arm. This just got real. Blitzcrank is coming to town. It's gonna be Christmas for nobody.
Yeah, apparently we have to. Apparently we have to take up arms and defend the realm at this point.
Whew. Whew.
Negative 23. I felt like this was just made random as an elaborate troll, just like instantaneously by someone who was like, "Nah, fuck those Piltover guys," or "Screw those Piltover guys."
Well, the scores might not lie, but I just joined up today. Things are about to get real. And I know that chump, Kyle Danger Hinnick, who might be watching this right now, just signed up for that other side, Demacia. So I know we can get some free points ripping those dudes off. Let's get real.
Yeah, so actually, again, we're back in here. Same lineups. Pretty standard of what I would probably expect coming in here from the Piltover side, at least. Like, their one main jungler that is common is Vi, so that's actually what we're going to see here. I think they can actually have a lot of really unorthodox junglers. They really want to. You could run Ezreal jungle. You could run Heimer jungle. Rumble can jungle as well. I think Jace could probably do it. I don't know how great he is in the jungle, but he has some decent AoE, so you could probably get with it. But for the most part, this is probably one of their stronger lineups and the strongest standard lineup that they do have. On their side, again, point out that they do have a bit of potential really good CC coming in for their team, and they do have a lot of champions that aren't resource reliant, where if we look on to Piltover, they're going to be rocking that mana, so some of these lanes might be able to be starved out. We could see some really heavy aggression with this cannon play, so should be actually a fun one to see.
So. You know what? I hope Kinnan brings it hard to the paint, because right now, this day is the day that we defend not only tomorrow, but the entire realm from the scourge of these other factions. I'm done. I can't believe I just walked in on this. I feel like I showed up 2 hours late for a bar fight, and like all my friends are sitting on the floor like white blood from mouth, and the other guys are just sitting there like, with a bunch of mirror water, just juggling it. And I'm just like, you have no respect for the thing that you're holding. Give me my magic shiny water. And so now I'm going to have to step in here. I'm going to have to take you with me. Paddo and I are coming in late. We're going to be casting this one, but you just get ready, because the hammer does not stop coming down from Piltover. Jace, bring it hard.
jabs and pokes coming out there, at least at the early stages. But yeah, I mean, again, I think the tough part for Piltover, at least as just kind of like a lineup and as a faction, is that you need so much discipline to run their kind of comps, because you're not just going to have like, the hard engage comp where it's like, all right, everybody go in and just like clean up. It's going to be more like poke finesse type stuff. So we'll see actually how Miss Bacon Hawk, Taco Storm, and the crew are able to pull this one out here, and if they have that discipline and patience to pull off this kind of lineup.
Yeah, we'll absolutely see here. The next 5 seconds, we should be jumping to that loading screen, and then bam, front line. We have front row seats. I can't even sit down and cast this game. I'm pacing. I am so upset.
People, yeah, there is a 3-minute delay in the League of Legends spectator screen, so it will be a 3-minute delay. That's just to make sure that just naturally you don't actually have to delay your stream at all, and we can, as casters, can just cast with that delay, and people can't ghost. They can ghost like the picks and summer spells. That's why we have the blockers for the summer spells, but otherwise, yeah. And we got that Debonair Jace skin, of course, as it should be.
Dude, Taco Storm does not show up anywhere looking anything but debonair. I one time was at PAX minding my own business, trying to enjoy, like a sandwich, and he walked around the corner, and the moment I thought he didn't look good was the moment he looked the best he possibly could. Full suit. Looked away again, different suit. Man's made out of magic and excellence.
Actually, wasn't he what Jace was partly based off of when it was done?
Probably.
Like, this guy is classy and has a sweet jawline. Let's do this.
It's all about them jawlines.
Yeah, it is. Clearly.
I didn't even, until right now, I had done nothing but say bad things about Jace. Like I
know. You were a hater of Jace.
Yeah, no, I don't like his entire motto. I don't like his time traveling, lab destroying. If I could be from Zon, I would have been in this argument. But Blitzcrank went to Piltover because that's a real thing. Apparently, Victor, smartest guy in the world, didn't think about having a backdoor program override system built into that while he was programming it. You know what? Never mind. Magic. So now I have to follow my butt grabber and go over to Piltover, which I'm fine with. I agree with a lot of Piltover science. I don't agree with
I have to say that the Piltover crew is coming out with a lot of pride. I mean, we see a lot of Piltover skins being represented here, where the Ionians, not just kind of going standard. Just, they woke up late, didn't really want to throw anything on.
I got to give Ionia something. Okay, first off, Kennen doesn't have skins. He has recolorings and scrubs.
Wait, what? Swamp Kennen isn't a brand new amazing skin?
Yeah, I don't even pay attention to that. Kennen doesn't have skins. And Soraka, most of Soraka's skins make her look like a anorexic 14-year-old with a horn on her head. It's like the worst brony nightmare ever.
Yeah, her rework, I don't know. It still looks funky.
Standard Raka, I'll allow it. Lee Sin, I mean, all that matters is as long as the shirt's off, we're fine. Like, I don't see why we even need anything else. They might win just because the shirt is off. And then, of course, Aurelia's rocking it hardcore, getting all, Amelia Earhart on us. So, she's coming out with some mad reps. And then, of course, they were like, Varys, we need you to not be evil today. We need you to rep hard in the balance. Mika, and so he came out with his, super angel eyes.
We need you to be pre-corruption pool, where you lost your mind and powers because you wanted to mess with Noxus.
Yeah,
that kind of thing. More enlightened. I actually like that skin a lot. I actually like the spell effects that come out here. So we are underway finally. Here it's going to be Ionia versus Piltover. Piltover looks like they're heading out really early to their blue buff, while Mima Lee Sin trekking out for his team blindly, but he knows the way.
Nah. I see what you did there. Now, what we might have here is some real good shenaniganry. Since the pings are already coming down, everybody's already looking.
Yeah, it looks like Ionia might be mounting up for an invade here, or possibly just a lot of effort to protect their own red buff, which might have Lee Sin start, but no, they're going for it. Yep. Sonic Wave going to be thrown into the bush more than likely before they get there, but no, it's not. Ball going to eat them in the face with a Howling Gale as well. Pretty hard to invade on that without taking any damage or getting spotted out. I mean, you have cupcake traps, you have the ball to kind of be able to be used as a ward, and nicely executed right there by Piltover.
Yep, and good little pullback. They realized they didn't have Jace. Jace is up defending. And if I was him, I would have maybe, dropped a ward up at that blue, came down, killed Lee Sin when he was trying to get it, but whatever. I'm super aggro this game. This is the most serious I've ever been about League of Legends ever.
Well, I mean, pride is on the line, and now that you know that you're somehow negative 23.
Yeah,
I mean,
which
the
is
fires have been stoked.
Whoever's in charge of this thing needs to call me immediately after this, and we need to discuss math. Because apparently they did not go to the academy located in my wonderful city. They went to some heathen school. And it's going to be a pretty boring beginning now. Everybody's just going to do their beginning level buffs, try to get their CS, help their junglers.
Lift weights, as you like to call it.
Weights, yeah. So it's the part of casting League of Legends that if you had to do this for professional sports, you'd be casting their training.
Hey, sometimes some people find that fun. Although Soda actually taking a lot of damage here as he's closing out this red buff. Gonna have to burn the smite, while it looks like Vi's gonna be able to save her smite, so she's gonna actually be pretty quick along here through jungle, as long as she doesn't forget to punch those lizards and make sure they disappear, so we can get their respawn coming up here shortly. And we'll see Lee Sin charge over across more than likely, although it looks like he's actually heading straight up lane right now, looping up around.
I don't know. Is he going to be that bold? Is he going to be bold enough to... Yes, he is. He is looping right up around. And it looks like he's ducking in for a possible red steal here, but he's going to get a big world of hurt when he realizes that this smiteful Vi is coming up right behind him.
Yeah, I have to... I mean, maybe he's...
Hey,
I think
baby,
he wants to go for...
Oh, fist! Oh, they passed by each other without incident, really. But now that Oriana's now ducking in the jungle. Jace is ducking in the jungle. We're going to make this into a fight.
Yeah, he's going to
go, baby.
Some help to get out.
Ain't nowhere to go, baby. Come on.
Ignite going down. Will they be able to pick up? It's going to be very, very close to that last hit. There's the ball. Will it be enough? And the gate shot from downtown. Taco Storm picking up first blood.
That was great positioning on Taco Storm. He was able to duck down just far enough to shoot it right into that next bush. Didn't have to worry about it missing or nothing else. That big explosion right there was able to pick him up. And there we go. First blood. How's that for negative 23 points?
Plus 1 point. We're creeping. We're creeping.
Is that wait, how are points accumulated in this?
I think it's like per map type. So if you win a Summoner's Rift match, then I believe it's like 5 points. And then I don't know how you lose points. So I don't know what that graph is based off of. Like differential or something between the top lead or something. I don't know. But.
All right. Taco Storm, make like a level 1 account. Use all of your Riot influence to fill it with a bunch of stuff and be like, oh, I'm sorry, we have to do level 1 fights. Balancing it. I haven't checked out these rules and how I can manipulate them yet, but I'm coming for you.
But yeah, I was kind of confused actually why Soda or Lee Sin decided to go invade in there after using Smite. Since Vi was able to keep her Smite, was never going to be able to steal red, and then hung around there for a very long time, and was an easy collapse. I mean, it's not like Kennen was really pushing very, very hard against Oriana, so didn't have quite the best positioning there. We also saw Vi creep in towards the blue buff of Lee Sin there, since he actually hadn't got around to it, and I believe she actually did take that from him.
And that just emotional.
So as we look in here, Piltover out to that early lead thanks to that first blood and some CS farming while the crew has been away. Vi doing a lot more farming, of course, since he has been available. Aurelia getting in there, throwing down the Ignite, getting knocked away by Taco Storm in the meantime. And I think that Taco Storm might have been just kind of a little bit behind in lane, just because he actually did go down and get that first blood. So maybe Aurelia got a few early levels. This is kind of where she starts to pick up as a champion. Usually she starts a little bit slow. But as long as Taco Storm is able to sustain up here, he should actually be fine in this lane with Jace's kit.
And now we're just waiting for that bait to come around. And here comes a punch!
Yeah.
Oh, I love seeing Hitmonlee just show up like that. And we should be seeing a quick switch back to a shot in the face. Nope. Okay. No more deeps being laid down. They're back up to about equal health now up top. How are we doing for potions as well? She's got two. Oh, and there's a big blast out of the bush. He is so good at positioning himself just right. And she's coming back up. Vi's probably going to be hopping this wall here real quick. I'm expecting a big punch to be charging up. Down bottom, everybody's just hanging out, being pretty civil.
Yeah, just throwing out that spells back and forth. I don't think that Death Noob has actually been under that much pressure as we typically actually see from a lane kind of like this. Maybe we have some good Jam Shields going on there, though. She is getting pretty low on mana at this point. Almost has most of her Philosopher's Stone set up on her, so she'll be able to go back and just buy that really quickly on her next back and probably get into her some better items.
Down bot has been kind of a battle of poking, having been watching him a little bit.
Hit 6, I think. Was he thinking of going all in? Why did he go in? There's the ult, finally. I thought he would have used it right off the bat.
Oh! When it is a 1-for-1 mid.
Yeah, I mean, that's a trade. I mean, Kennen used to actually cost mana, but we see Lee Sin finally coming back in here, lands the resonating strike, and they're going to be able to pick up one last nice hit. Jace not able to get far enough away. Need that gate a little bit closer to him, get that speed buff, and then use the knockaway, but not quite able to pull it off.
They flashed toward it, it's fine.
Yeah.
And here we go, pressure back onto this bottom turret down here. But you're right, Janna has about run out of mana, and they know it. They're starting to get more aggressive now.
Yeah, that sustain from that kind of lane. I mean, even when they got him low in the bot lane, you see they come back, swing back with the mana advantage and the damage advantage, actually lands the arrows and going to get exhausted, though, right away by Baconhawk to make sure he cannot actually lay that damage down on her. So, going to be pretty safe there. Now, the problem for Jace, too, is actually after dying up top, they were able to push in that lane, too, so he actually lost about a wave of creeps on top of the fact that he died. So, hopefully, he'll be able to come back a little bit stronger using that first blood gold, but down really heavily in CS at this point.
Yes, he is, and he's going to have to get back into his lane and just kind of sit back. He's got his tier now. Just charge that up, and, just take your time. Take your time. Ain't no reason to be getting all upset about it. Just shoot her in the face. She is 6 now, so he's going to have to be a little bit more cautious getting blades thrown in his face. And there's that bot lane getting pushed back, but that cannon minion's going to take a bunch of hits, not going to waste as much CS as they had hoped. They're going to be able to get here and get that experience, get that gold, keep the fight going.
Sometimes he's your friend, sometimes he's your enemy. But in this case, the interesting part, though, at least for Ionia's lineup, is that since their jungler doesn't require mana and their mid doesn't require mana, that the only real person they can give a blue buff to that's going to mean anything is probably Aurelia in the early stages of the game. But, I mean, I think that maybe Lee Sin's just going to start to farm it for himself, just with that extra XP and that lead going and the cooldowns, and then maybe use that to just come in on lanes and just snowball that early advantage that he normally has.
Yeah, that would be absolutely awesome for them. I hope that he doesn't. just throwing that out there.
I kind of.
Lee Sin back up here, knowing that he's got to shut down Jace. Taking a big shot to the face.
Yeah, he's going to be able to stand through a lot of this, though, and just be a bully, at least in this early stage, now that he actually has gotten back out there, gotten an assist. And, I mean, this is his stage of the game to shine, so we're going to see how well he does. Nice Eye of the Storm from Janna coming there, protecting Caitlyn as she takes that arrow shot from Varus. And the harass in mid lane, these two don't like each other.
Not one bit.
Just throwing out that damage, the poke war, back and forth, although pretty safe champions in lane. Most of them have ways to speed themselves up to get to safety. Orianna a little bit more exposed if we do see Lee Sin, though, come in. The Howling Gale, max range over the wall, hits both members. Pretty pro right there coming from Miss Baconhawk.
Caitlyn is incredibly aggressive playing against this. She knows that she's messing with that sustain. She's trying to burn as much mana as possible and force them to use that so they can actually have a real fight past that. But Kennen now coming down.
Chain of Corruption coming out right
Big
in
ultimate
time.
coming down.
Should get the stun off there. Last hit misses the shuriken, and it looks like Baconhawk's not going to be able to escape out of this one. Kennen going to be able to pick up that kill, but a shockwave in mid lane, and Vi actually flashes in and then goes for the ult onto Lee Sin, trying to get closer there, and the harass coming out of Caitlyn. She's all by herself, needs to be careful here, taking a lot of damage in on this one. Black Quiver coming in.
Bro.
And whew.
Gotta say, what? Vi, we need to talk. Call me after this game.
Yeah, she maybe she got scared because Aurelia was being called down, decided to go the other way, but I mean, that's...
Getting spotted out by the turret right there was a definite kill for Kennen.
Yeah, that's...
And throwing those double buffs on him is going to make Orianna's job a bit tougher, but Ori wants those buffs now, and she's going hard in the paint.
Yeah, actually did use Shockwave, so not going to be super threatening, at least at this stage, but is getting a lot of damage off on him. See if she actually just send Kennen back. That would be good enough for her at this point. They knew they did back off Lee Sin, but Lee Sin going to finally come up here in mid lane. Gonna cover back up for them. It really hasn't really set into any big items, even though she actually does have a kill and a lot of CS, so expecting her to probably go back and buy something significant here in the near future, because she really, I mean, what we've seen a lot actually recently is just rushing straight to Blade of the Rune King, and once she gets that now, she's actually pretty efficient just diving into enemy teams and starting to scare the life out of AD carries.
Yeah, and I mean, she's sitting on 1,200 gold right now, so she still has plenty of gold for winning if she decides to go back. And here, the Poke War still kicking it in middle, hoping that something can happen. But now Kennen's going to send Orianna packing back to her tower real quick. Fresh Kennen right out the base. Chug your potions, get ready for war.
Yeah, getting back in there. Orianna was living life dangerously, actually going in on that Lee Sin, threw down Ignite. Was trying to get off that last auto attack, which would have finished him, but that turret scared her away, wasn't able to quite do it. But nice pressure from her, nice aggressiveness. Now we see Vi coming in on the backside. The Bionic Arm's going to miss after that flash from Varus, and the hail of arrows going to come out on the backside to slow their pursuit. So nicely done, but flash burned.
We got that flash burn, but Kennen may be coming down for some action. Sitting right outside of that reward range. Knows right where it is.
Yeah, Kennen kind of in a tricky place because he's not like, he can push, but he's not like the best pusher. So better for him to actually, instead of just trying to push into the wave into the turret, just rotate down and possibly help out the team as they engage here. It looks like he's actually going to go right onto Orianna right here, just get off some nice little burst damage on his way out. Although the trade actually not quite in his favor. A lot of damage actually going to Soraka, trying to get those cooldowns spent on her to the AD carry. Don't have to deal with that, and Death Noob chugging up those health potions to stay in the bottom lane, and Vi looping back around. Might actually team up here again shortly with Orianna, although Orianna actually backed off pretty far behind turret. Don't know what that position was for, but we'll see. Oh, and there's Chain of Corruption going on to Bacon Hog. Got her pretty low at this point. Monsoon used to back her off out of this, and they're slowing it down. Hal and Gale coming out as well, but Kaylin actually getting good damage off here. This could be actually really big for them. Vi now hunting down. Might be able to cut him off if she's able to get the right round the corner.
Oh, Lee Sin's going to pop in there, but the Ori Ball on top of Vi is going to allow her to get into this fight. You're going to have to get the ultimate off just to get her out of there.
So Dragon Kick used to send everybody away. Nobody dying there. And the Soraka heal coming across the map just to add a little bit of extra health into Virus, although I actually think he was clean and clear at that point. So nice covering for both teams. Aurelia now with that top advantage, actually living in the enemy's jungle. Did see the jungle's bottom, so comes down here to check out the red buff. But looks like there's nothing there for her, so she's actually going to settle for Raise.
Hung out for a while, too. Might actually end up with some fist in her face. And then a 2-level get difference, though. I don't know why she's backing out of there so fast, except for the fact that Orianna's coming over here just to say hi. Good.
Yeah, I think she was trying to sneak one out there, but then realized it was trouble. And we just see the ballerina of chainsaws. There he is. Jumping in, jumping out, being annoying as always. That's Lee Sin. The gate shots coming in from Jace, just trying to put some pressure on the top lane, but really not going to back Aurelia off. She has enough to stay in that top lane. Now they're basically in a little bit of a farm war. The only sad part is neither one actually has teleport to actually get out of lane. So there's going to have to be a conscious decision at some point from either team, Piltover or Ionia, to be like, hey, let's group up and use these champions. Aurelia just wants to get that key item, get that blade of the Rune King, while Jace, at any point once he comes into their team, they'll have so much poke that they can actually just, he could show up in mid and really put a lot of pressure on a turret because Ken's not going to be able to clear very hard against that kind of lineup. And now we see Ken going all in.
Big stun going to happen here. Got to get that ball back on you. Shockwave coming down. Big damage on everybody.
And Vi, will she be able to clean this up? It looks like she is.
And
a double kill. From the grave with the Ignite.
Sitting right there, sitting pretty, was able to get the ball back onto herself, was able to defend a lot of that damage, and then pull back for Vi to just be able to lay down what was needed to clean that up. Aurelia all the way down bot now, heading down there to get some action done, following the jungler. It's going to be a 3v3 fight down there, while Jace is going to be able to get this turret top for free.
Yeah, I mean, if he's able to do that, that should be pretty big for them. Rumbo, rotating, he rotated mid, took a little bit of CS, was late to that fight, then rotates all the way bottom, and that's actually a big no-no for top laners a lot of times. And actually, I think he's decided to stick around because he spent that time, wants to get something out of it at this point, and he's going to run right into a Vi who actually swings the other way, goes right onto Rumbo, who's trying to trade now, but it's going to be a 3v1 until a team can back it up. Varus trying to run in here. Hal and Gale coming up, but they're very low at this point. Right, Bacon Hawk not liking this look, and Orianna charging down the mid lane as Kennen actually taking over the top lane after the turret does fall.
And here we go. Now we're trying to get this bottom turret to kind of balance out what just happened up top.
This could be trouble for Oriana. She actually does not deal very well with these type of aggressive moves onto her. Uses slash, gets under turret, but Vi's going to be able to save it.
The most terrifying thing on the planet. Vi showing up over the wall. Aurelia's ultimate had already been used to sustain herself out of that last fight. Jace is going to be able to throw down some deeps over the wall. And now we have two big fists sitting mid on each side, trying to get something to happen. Jace has to run back up top to defend his turret. Bottom turret has just fallen, which was bound to happen with all the aggression that was happening down there. Now it's up to keeping this top turret alive to make sure that all of this has been worth that entire engagement.
Yeah, and actually the pink ward battle continues. Looks like Ionia is going to get control over the dragon at this point, although I'm sure Jana's going to come there with a quick answer with her own pink ward very shortly, but actually gets a little bit spooked, is going to back off out of this one. But we are going to have to see Piltover start to get a lot more aggressive with their warding, although the knock underneath the tower was thought he was going to be able to do it. The ignite looks like it's going to be short onto Ken. Ken's going to live with sub 100 health up in the top lane. Very close trade going down between both those summoners right there, as we do see actually the Manamune actually getting picked up now for Jace, who's going to have a little bit more attack damage in there, mixed in with his sustain attacking. Gets a lot more mana from that now that it has been charging up. And we're going to see Vi lead this off with the Shockwave, pulling in multiple members.
Somebody's got to get Aurelia out of that back line, though.
Oh, she's already running. Realizes there's no one else with her. Chain of Corruption actually going off here. Monsoon going to split the team, but Baconhawk might have baited them in here to get picked off. That might have been a beautiful move for Piltover, and now they're going to start.
And now Kinnon's joined the fight, and Kinnon's ultimate will wipe out this whole team. There's the Shuriken getting one. Here comes the stun staying down. That's going to be a death. Oh, but...
Yeah, oh, the arrow. So they're going to actually trade 2 for 2. After all, Kennen unfortunately did not have his ult since he used it up in top lane against Jace. So wasn't able to get the glorious quadra kill that was kind of lined up for him there at that point. But still pretty good. They're able to answer back with 2 kills of their own. We see Jace showing up here with those accelerated blasts, just trying to back off the enemy team, back off this wave so they actually can't push in and take this middle turret.
And that was incredibly dangerous for everybody, really. There were moments on either side where that could have gone incredibly wrong. There comes that shot down, just laying it down on! There's the accelerated blast, getting that kill. Finally, pulling that, evening out the kills. Gold has been really close the entire game. This has been a really good game played on both sides.
Yeah, a really balanced game where both teams making plays. You can tell they both want to win this one for their faction. We see Jace coming there with a little bit of slow with to the skies, but I think this, what we saw a little bit of a glimpse of there, just for a brief moment, was what that's Piltover's bread and butter if they want to, is to set up and start sieging. Siege up there with that long range from Caitlyn, Jace. And you also have Janet can even poke in there. Oriana's poke's going to be pretty strong as well. And then you have these beefy peelers or responses to disengage or actually respond to an engagement on yourself with Vi and Janet in your lineup as well. So I think Piltover, that's going to kind of be their move later on in the game, is when they can actually group up. But Aurelia in the meantime going to pull Jace back to top lane.
Whew. And the fight for this outer turret wages on. Somebody waiting for that moment where they can actually spend the time doing that kind of 5v action right in mid and not have to worry about 2 possible towers getting dropped outside of their range of influence. Vi now coming down behind. Ward going to be able to spot her out. Soraka now responding, trying to get up there. But is Soraka going to get caught with a fist?
Ooh, the 3v3 potential is here, but although the Vault Breaker does miss, not going to go there. Jan actually peeking in there, maybe going for a ward, just barely going to have that Sonic Wave miss. Now throws down a pink ward at Dragon just in case there is more wards that do go down, or in case Soraka maybe doesn't have a pink ward, which she doesn't. So they actually are going to still have ward control. Lee Sin starts it, actually pulls out the Dragon, not what he wanted to. Probably, I don't know. Actually, they're going to start this. They have a team Jace late on the rotation. Kennon's still in base, though, so they're going to meet about the same time. Not going to have the same type of poke, but if Piltover wants to poke in here, they can get him pretty low, combine with this Dragon. Should be able to get some decent damage, although they're really kicking off already against Caitlyn. Going to 1v1 her pretty easily in the backline. Janet trying to protect her.
Flash.
Barrier popped as well. Monsoon going to try to reset and get Piltover out of this one, but Jace now finally coming in the backside is going to try to go on to Varus, but Kennon coming in with that slicing Maelstrom, not going to be able to get one stun, but will be able to help pick up another kill. Aurelia starting to do some serious damage here, and Lee Sin living with just a little bit of health.
And Caitlyn's fail flash over the wall right there really did cost her life. She tried really hard to get out of that kind of a situation, maybe even just to pull Aurelia farther out. But being trapped behind that wall and dying right there on her team is going to kind of leave this kind of a gap here for this middle tower to die.
Yeah, and that's going to be a big pain because that's going to really open up the map for Ionia to push Piltover around a little bit here. Off the back of that fight, and it was pretty decisive in their favor. And I think the main problem is that they actually split themselves. They split themselves over the blue golem, ancient golem buff. You know, they had Oriana and crew top, and then they had Caitlyn, you know, by herself on that low side. So when Aurelia went in on her, I mean, Aurelia's going to 1v1 her all day, and like you said, missed the flash, which was punishing. But even then, I mean, they effectively would have put her out of the fight anyways. And so really Piltover just needs to, you know, if they're going to fight over a dragon buff and they have that much time to set up for it, they need to be more decisive and, you know, group up and go in or make a decision a little bit quicker. And that one, they just kind of got caught with their pants down.
I like the 5-to-1 warding situation going on around Dragon right now.
Someone really wants it. But, you know, a great warding all over the map actually coming in here from Ionia. We actually see some deep wards. You know, we've got one ward peeking on Baron, one on that Wraith brush in that top lane. So they're actually going to see a lot of movement here from Piltover, which is really going to help them as they try to push these lanes.
Absolutely, and we got to start seeing that kind of aggressive or even defensive warding, getting these wards deep into the... Oh! Jana getting caught out right now. The ultimate coming down. She's not going to be able to hop the wall in time to save her life. And there goes the flash down as well. Chase now by himself up top as the rest of the team seems to be rotating up there to deal with that. And this might be that third outer tower falling.
Yeah, definitely need to blow the exhaust there to actually get away just for the slow and the damage reduction. Probably would have lived, but that's just one of those unfortunate things where you don't have your jungle warded. They had that ward right at the Wraith brush to spot that out. And Vi getting in there being very aggressive, but they have no turret to fall back on. And now we see Oriana try to get this one. Going to have a beautiful shockwave. Going to pull Kennen away with the slicing maelstrom, but he's going to flash in here to try to get more damage on here. Caitlyn's finally come in. We have the 3v3 on, and Ionia starting to get pretty low here. And the chase is on. Will they be able to catch anyone? It looks like they're just going to be able to push out these waves. No one's going to be able to actually engage on this, and Caitlyn needs to be careful, doesn't get turned on. This is a scary lineup that could turn, and there it is. Caitlyn's going to try to net away, but luckily Oriana's there to cover for them. Will Caitlyn be able to live? It's going to be very, very close. Is able to do it. Soraka not able to pick up the kill. Ace in the hole, comes for the back of her head, and she's going to be put to sleep.
And there goes the bottom turret in response. Bacon Hawk getting rooted to the ground, monsooning away. Might be enough for the Eye of the Storm to make it out, and she's going to make it out with her life just barely there. They got the kills, but they lost the tower. And when it comes down to this game is not about kills. This game is about objectives.
Yeah, I mean, if you want to get back into the game, unless you picked up a lot of shutdowns there, not going to make up for the fact that just positionally on the map, you know, they only have the top turret down. So the problem for Piltover is going to be playing a lot from their own jungle. And for a team comp like this that wants to siege, that wants to push, you don't want to be in that situation where the other enemy team has more map control from you. You want to be able to get all these lanes pushing, kind of like top lane's pushing now, and then pick a lane and mount up and start to siege and keep them on the back foot. Instead, they're kind of on their back foot, and it's going to be harder for them to make their comp work. Although some nice back and forth plays coming from both teams. We do see Ionia now with a slight lead, you know, just a little bit over 2K now, but nothing too big. Both these teams still very much in it and still up for grabs right now. And again, to point out too, these featured matches actually, you know, we talked a little bit about, you know, how many points, how do you get points for different games. These featured matches are actually worth bonus points.
What?
Yeah, so this is for big money right here. We can see Piltover swing all the way back potentially, hopefully, from their negative 23.
It's not even a real number. Here comes some action here, trying to get something going on onto Kennen.
Yeah, it has too much mobility, not really the target they wanted to use it on, especially at this stage. I think, you know, with 5 up, especially the way it is now, that turret's so low in mid lane, they should be able to just push in on it and get some decent pressure in. And there we see the Varus arrow come out, the poke going back and forth. Jace way too deep here, gonna get picked off by this counter engage. Shockwave coming in there, Vi reinitiating now, but Varus just doing damage, and no one's even looking at him. It's like he's invisible right now. The chain of crutch is gonna go, but there's the burst damage from Oriana, finally coming on him, gonna put him low. There's the Blade of the Rune King. Varus trying to get a little bit of health back in there, and that chunk coming in onto Varus. I mean, he was at full health and got put down to like 15% in like one combo. That was pretty scary.
No, that is pretty scary, especially when you leave Aurelia behind you to just lifesteal herself back up to some regular health. And going from a moment where they swung back incredibly hard, that turret could be going down. Aurelia is just in beast mode right now. She does not care that there is an enemy team.
Yeah, she has Blade of the Rune King, going to be going for Randuin's next. After she has that, her dive into the back lines is going to be beyond potent. I mean, it's going to be something to fear, and they're just going to have to deal with it. They have to use a lot of their peel. I mean, Vi, we've seen her initiate a lot to try to kind of stifle the front line of the enemy team. She's going to have to basically be on peel duty, I feel, more than likely, as we get further along into this game.
Yep. I mean, I hate to be like, focus Aurelia, but it's that moment where you're going to have people specifically focusing Aurelia. And there's that second turret down there, easing a little bit of that pressure. You can already see the pink wards dropping around Baron right now to keep that vision up.
Yeah, Caitlyn, she netted back over herself over the wall. It's an easy one you could miss, though, too. And looks silly. The Lee Sin barely missing the Sonic Wave in front of her face, though. So luckily she does get out of there. And Piltover starting to mount up. Here we see Jace poking in there. And this is kind of the situation they need to be in. They need to just have poke them down, whittle them down before that engagement does happen.
Yes.
But Ionia with that Dragon Time are going to lead it off, and they might be able to pick off Janna right away. Blast is going to come in on her, but she's going to heal through it. Dragon will be picked up for Ionia. And now those objectives starting to stack up for them as they start to creep ahead even further in this one and re-engaging on to Vi. But this is a narrow corridor where it looks pretty good for them. A massive shockwave going to catch 5 members of the enemy team. Kennen gets deep in there, though. And that was a really rough ult. A really, really rough ult for Piltover right there. Getting those backlines doing immense damage to them. And now Aurelia re-engaging with that damage. Orion going to be able to pick up 1. Using that command attack. Is chunking down now. Able to pick up 2. And Mr. Stifle.
No, wait. Listen for it.
Oh,
there it is. That's the word I wanted to hear. Oh. No, these lanes get that gold. Come on, baby. Keep them in those shallow corridors. Big shockwave, big damage, and there's the speed boost. Everybody's getting to this turret as quickly as possible. And
Piltover striking back. I mean, that Orianna burst damage that's been coming out of her has been absolutely clutch. I mean, I haven't been paying attention to how far ahead she has been in this game, but you can definitely tell her presence. Whenever she does land that command attack distance combo, like, people's lives get changed.
Yep, and
from 100 to 0.
Her and Kennen are both sitting at 7 kills. That 177 to 129 now CS starting to really show its presence. That and the fact that Kennen has to be up in your business to land that slicing maelstrom. You can hear that shockwave from anywhere.
Yeah, curious enough, Kennen's build is very spread out. The main thing he needs is that hourglass. We already saw he started the Seeker's arm guard, but he needs the hourglass bad. You know, like you said, he has to get up there. He has to get in the business. And at this stage, I feel like he's doing himself a pretty big disservice by not actually getting that hourglass a little bit earlier. Instead, it looks like he's actually mounting up for Abyssal Scepter, it looks like.
The thing that's starting to creep on me, the thing that little nagging feeling in the back of my head, I see that 162 CS on a 6-3. Oh, and a big engagement on the Aurelia as I was talking about her. She's trying to get out of there. Will the rest of her team rotating up?
The Root King says no. Aegis says no escape. And the rest of her team helps back her up. That was unfortunate.
And splitting like that is always super dangerous. And here we go, the first dance for Baron.
Yeah, I mean, with 4 up and with the enemy team, you know they're right there. This seems like a pretty bad play. Aurelia's going to have to 1v4 essentially if they want to pull this off. She should just go in there, dive over the wall, flash over it if she has. Yeah, she does have flash. I would just flash over as Aurelia, dive into the 4-man, and try to pull this off. And oh, there's the steal from Vi! And the shockwave for good measure. Nicely done. And that's the risk you run with knowing the enemy team is right there. Like, I fully, heartily thought that Aurelia should have flashed over that wall, just dive in there, distracted them. You know, jazz hands at the very least to make sure that they didn't actually hop over there and steal that Baron, and Piltover making plays.
It's that hubris. That hubris always weighs down on you. So now we're going to see an even scarier version of Orianna sitting there with her little clockwork lifestyle.
Yeah, I mean, this is going to be a huge swing back for them, because even though, I mean, you now see that with that Baron pickup, Piltover's only down by 400 gold or something. But with that Baron buff, they're actually in the lead now as far as itemization goes. They're just going to have to deal again with those tanky divers like the Aurelia, and I think if they can just handle Aurelia, stay as 5 and deal with her, then the rest should be easy cleanup for them.
A good pick on Aurelia would change this game dramatically for the entire 30 seconds that she was down. There would be just this big gap in the availability of Ionia to really maneuver the way they have been.
Yeah, I mean, Ionia's really only response to if Piltover sieges up on them is to just straight up engage on them. So we'll see how that dance begins. There's going to be no Baron now, so I expect with this Baron buff now onto Piltover, we should see them mount up. They got top lane starting to push. Bottom lane's going to start pushing here as Orianna clears it out. But we should see them group up and just start to push on towers and objectives. Bottom turret probably going to be a pretty easy one to deal with at this point, although we do see Lee Sin splitting off for Ionia, so that might stall out the push, and that might be part of the strategy coming from Ionia to stall out this Baron timer. But Vi going to go in here and see Kennen actually lightning rush away, and now turning her sights onto Soraka and then onto Aurelia. We talked about the Aurelia pickoff. Might be huge. Burns flash
but it's not going to happen right there if they engage in this
the
push.
Kennen ults. They don't have vision there. Going to see the dunk on him. Is going to slow him down. Will it be able to pick him off, though? Now switching on to Varus. So many flashes blown here, but it is going to get them to safety. And Lee Sin taking that top turret now since he has been left alone. And unfortunately, just a lack of vision. Having Piltover face check that cannon, really not good for their health.
And that's what I was saying, as they were going into that bush, that's not the place they wanted to fight. In that little narrow corridor sitting there with Varus' ability to just lay down huge amounts of damage, and leaving Lee Sin up top like that, that's going to cost them a few deaths and a few Barons. No, wait, did all their Baron buffs? All 3 of their Baron buffs stayed up. It was their 2 non-Baroners that went down. Never mind.
Yeah, so, I mean, at least a saving grace in there. But for the most part, still not what they wanted. They lost team members and they lost another turret. They're slowly just keep losing objectives, and that's really what's keeping Ionia ahead as we move along further into this game. And really give an advantage here because they do have that creepy, scary team that can come at you at that stage. Unfortunately, Piltover a little bit fragile, I think, in their lineup. Otherwise, you do have that scenario where you do have a Kennen that kind of falls off as the game goes on, and you do have a Lee Sin that definitely falls off as the game goes on. You can see just constantly.
But Lee Sin is going for this next turret. Like,
this is what they should do. I completely agree with the move from Lee Sin.
This is a base race that Piltover can't win.
Unless they pick off this Aurelia, and they're going to Shockwave her. Okay, now they're in business. Now they're in business. They dunk the Kennen, and I'm sorry, but where's that Hourglass still from Kennen? I mean, the Hourglass would have saved them in so many circumstances, and now they're actually on to Varus. Varus down. They have 5 in the enemy base. Now they have 4 because the turret's able to pick up 1. But Lee Sin's going to need... Lee Sin can... he can't minion clear that well, so his ability to take turrets is not that great.
Okay, you know what? I'm sorry that I said anything. GG.
Apparently, you didn't believe in the City of Progress enough.
I believe. I didn't believe that was a good idea. I was apparently wrong. And this is where we get our points back. Stack them points. Give me that -23 reversed.
And there you have it, ladies and gentlemen. Piltover looked like they were on the ropes and decisively swing back and are able to take this game very close. Kill death, only 2K disadvantage, but well done by Piltover, coming through in the clutch. And I really have to put a lot of it. We said we need to pick off Aurelia, but they picked off Aurelia in a stage where they were actually in the middle of a push, and then the rest of the team followed.